Southern Football 90, featuring the defending NCAA National Champion, Georgia Southern Eagles. This program is brought to you by Team Baden Isuzu. We are the competition. And by Atlantic Cellular. It's for you, Savannah. Now here's your host, Bill Edwards, and Georgia Southern University head football coach, Tim Stowers.
Evening again, everyone. Welcome to Georgia Southern Football 90, the game tonight against Central Florida. We're coming to you from the Citrus Bowl, where the weather could be a factor tonight, Tim. I didn't think so, all the great weather we had in South Georgia this week, but looks like it could be a bit of a problem tonight.
Well, the wind's blowing a little bit. I'd say it's blowing about 15 miles an hour, maybe even a little more than that. And also it looks a little overcast. We could get some rain tonight.
Well, how does this team feel now after having a week off? I know both teams have had an open date, have they not?
Well, I think Central Florida had an open date to get ready for Georgia Southern's offense because we run every option in football, and they want their defense to be able to see more looks. The looks that Georgia Southern's offense is running. I think the open day came at a good time for us because we've been through 6 tough football games, and we had a lot of people injured.
No doubt the Eagles were fired up. But 2 of the Division's 1AA top-scoring teams did little scoring in the first quarter. In fact, the most prolific offense, which belongs to Idaho, didn't score at all. The Vandals were forced to punt after only 3 plays. And Rodney Oglesby managed to squeeze through 2 defenders for a 9-yard run that got the crowd on its feet. And so the Eagles began like it was going to be just another day at the office, with a pitch to Joe Ross, good for 14 yards around the left side and a first down at the Idaho 44. Raymond Gross got 7 more to the 37. But 2 more plays lost a yard, and gambling early, David Kuhl came in to attempt a 55-yard field goal. And though David had the potential and the wind, it came up a yard or 2 short. Meanwhile, the Vandals began to sack, pillage, and burn their way through a proud Georgia Southern defense. Quarterback Steve Nolan, doing a Joe Montana impression that could have fooled even Joe himself, connected for 13 yards to flanker Chris Taylor. Then wide receiver Yo Murray for 12 more yards, down to the Eagles' 34. But when Paul Sickley dropped Steve Nolan for a 5-yard loss to bring about 3rd and 13, it only seemed to make him mad. A rocket strike to tight end Scott Dahlquist, who was unbelievable Saturday, was the target for 23 yards. Then we heard from the Division IAA's leading rusher, Devon Pierce. 7 yards to the GSU 7, but Pierce came up limping on the play, and we would see little of him the rest of the afternoon, which turned out to be bad news for Georgia Southern. More on that later. On 3rd and 2, Roman Carter, in for the injured Pierce, got zilch when Tim Brown fought off a block to get him to make it 4th and 1, and a pass on 4th down was way too low. Southern had held. But the Eagles couldn't get out of the hole and punted it back to the Vandals. And like an in-law invasion for the holidays, here they came again. Steve Nolan to Scott Dahlquist. These 2 guys making football music like Rodgers and Hammerstein. But all good things must come to an end, and this was classic. 2nd and 6 in the GSU 30. Nolan fires in the flats to Casey Dunn. Kevin Whitley in hot pursuit, stripping Dunn of the ball. And like finding the Hope Diamond, number 10, Mark Giles, scooped it up and found himself with more blue-shirted escorts in a police academy movie. And though one guy took a swipe at him, Mark regained his balance and went on to pay dirt to give the Eagles a 7-0 lead with a 76-yard touchdown run.
Well, I'll tell you what, all the credit goes to Kevin Whitley on that play. Dunn caught the ball out in the flats, and Kevin hit him, and he hit him hard. And the ball popped out, and I saw the official standing there, and he wasn't whistling the play down, so I knew the ball was live. Just went over there and picked it up and took off down the sideline. And there was only one guy there that could tackle me. And he was kind of overrunning me, so I decided to cut against the grain. And when I did, he missed me. And I looked, and there was nothing but blue shirts. So I knew I was going to make it if I just keep my feet. I was just kind of staggered in the end zone. You know, it really felt great to make that play.
Tell me, if for a split second there with the new rule this year, normally all you do is fall on that thing. There might be an initial reaction to just to pounce on it.
Nah, I saw Rodney do it earlier this year. I thought, man, it'd be great if I could do that this year. So I got my chance, and it worked out.
Did it ever. Meanwhile, back at the war zone, second verse, same as the first. Nolan to Dahlquist, 9 yards to begin the second period. And on 3rd and 2, same combo for 8 yards before Sean Maxwell could stop him. Then a costly error. Nolan goes to surprise, wide open Casey Dunn. All alone for what looked like a sure tying touchdown. Red bandana flapping in the breeze and all, but there were gold flags, a much prettier sight to Eagle fans back upfield. The Vandals were guilty of holding. Then, thanks to Steve Busceletti, who dropped Nolan for a 7-yard loss and another holding call, the Vandals faced 3rd and 27 from the Eagle 45, which didn't seem to give them much of a problem all day. Nolan calmly dumped it off to Yo Murphy, who got back 18 yards of it to bring up 4th and 9 in time for Thane Doyle to come on to attempt a 44-yard field goal. It was off to the right, and the 7-0 lead was intact momentarily. An 8-yard run by Joe Ross through the middle looked mighty good. But 2 plays later, a pitch to Carl Miller looked anything but. The Vandals had the ball at the Georgia Southern 35, and an already overworked defense was back on the field. Still, no excuses.
They're gonna take exactly what you'll give them. And we didn't play much man. We played a lot of zone, and they just biggest part, we had a couple of missed assignments. We had a good game plan, but we just had a couple of mental breakdowns. But once we had one mental breakdown, we'd all come together and fight and work things out.
Yeah, it's frustrating. They were moving the ball real good in the second quarter, third quarter. And, you know, their type of offense, it's going to give up, you know, or take what the defense is going to allow. And we were allowing, I guess, a little 5-yard, 6-yard pass. And, you know, they utilized that, and they did a great job. Combination draw, pass, and, you know.
We know, and we began to see Roman Carter in our secondary so much, he may have earned a letter Saturday afternoon. 10 yards on 2nd and 2. Then a toss to Dahlquist. 12 more. 1st and goal at the Southern 5. Took only one play from there. Mr. Carter swept right and tight and touchdown. 7-all. But those who give can also take. And when Southern got the ball back, the Eagle Express showed the Vandals our Air Force had a pretty potent arsenal as well. The Gross to Sorrell combo. We used it twice on our first touchdown drive of the day, nor were we afraid to use our nuclear capability. 2 plays later, it was bombs away. Sorrell had defender Charlie Oliver burned, roasted to a golden yellow, and it was positively glorious. 69 yards in 3 plays, consuming 59 seconds. Federal Express topped this.
So I felt like I could get past him. You know, I just asked Coach to just throw it deep to me one more time, and he did. Unfortunately, it paid off again.
I was hoping they were going to go deep to you maybe 1 or 2 more times.
Right. I mean, you know, the main thing is to stay patient. You know, with a running offense, you know, a lot of people might keep forgetting that we are running offense. You know, and, you know, when the pass is there, we're going to throw it.
Well, you know, all we got to do basically is get it up in the air and Terrence to go get it. So as long as I don't overthrow him, I got a pretty good chance of getting a touchdown on any pass you throw to Terrence, you know, deep. So, you know, I laid it up and Terrence just ran by him, and it's not too many people that can hold Terrence.
And you can take that to the bank. And no sooner had the defense held, like when Paul Sickley and Mike West stopped this little running play here to Roman Carter, then the Eagle Express hit the track at full speed again, starting with Rodney Oglesby's punt return. A nice 15-yarder where the Southern offense began their second touchdown drive of the afternoon in good field position at their own 41. On 1st down, Raymond and Terrence teamed up on the Vandals once more for 23 yards down to the enemy 21. Then 2 Raymond Gross keepers at the 11. Raymond went 8 on 1 right up the middle to the 3. And on the next play, he circled to his left and was touchdown bound. 21-7 GSU with 53 seconds to go. That gave the explosive Vandal offense too much time. They came roaring back upfield, missed a 54-yard field goal with 3 seconds to go, but the Eagles were offside, so Thane Doyle got another crack at it from 49, and with no time on the clock, made it 21-10 at intermission. And we'll be right back after this. Football from the Savannah News Press, Donald Heath. Donald, I know it's been an exciting season. You've been covering the Eagles for quite some time now, and it's always interesting to see what these guys are going to do.
Yeah, I've been covering now 4 years, and every year is more exciting than the next.
This has been an unusual season. The fact it looked like they were about to nail the coffin shut on this team, and then all of a sudden, 8 victories in a row. Just an incredible turnaround. Right. They were down 1-3, and you weren't quite sure what they could do, particularly with the schedule. But they've come on, and they're a lot tougher now. I know that you've covered you cover high school and you've covered other college teams. Is this the most fun assignment? Yeah, it sure has been. Like I say, every year we've had, exciting team here. They're always winning. In town, it's a topic of conversation, so it's been a lot of fun. Interesting deadlines. I know maybe the game being a little earlier for the playoffs might be better, but for the most part, I have about 30 hours to put a show together. You have to get a column in pretty quick, don't you? Right. Well, away games have been the toughest. Unanswered points, starting with Steve Nolan's pitch to Roman Carter, who kept Roman for 12 yards. On 3rd and 8 from their 41, Nolan went back up top to you-know-who, Scott Dahlquist. Everything worked. Like this, Nolan's little lob off to Carter just before he got decked by Paul Sickley, and Carter got 20 yards to the Eagle 25. Carter took a pitch on the next play, 21 more yards before Kevin Whitley could stop it. Thank goodness this guy was a substitute. Can you imagine the damage he could have done if he'd been good enough to be a starter on this team? On 3rd and goal, Nolan made it look easy, zipping it right over the middle to Casey Dunn, red bandana and all. 21-17 GSU. It looked like it might be that kind of an afternoon. But if you thought that was quick, the next time the Vandals got their hands on the pigskin, which was 6 plays later, it was blitzkrieg time. On 1st down, though, freshman Sean Austin almost came up with the big prize. He had Dahlquist covered like a blanket, and Nolan threw it right to him. Had he hung on, it might have prevented this. 4th play of the drive from the Eagle 49. Nolan dropped back, and with enough time to read the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, dropped this rainbow right in Scott Dahlquist's hands as he scored for a 24-21 lead, and in the process setting a Paulson Stadium record for receptions and yardage. It was becoming a long afternoon for the Southern defense.
Well, we're in good condition, but we really don't want to play that many snaps. We got to do a better job of going 3 and out. But we gave up a lot of yards, but we held them to 27, and they've been averaging 48 under the quarterback that's in there now. So we were pleased with that, but we got to do a better job of shutting them down early and let our offense stay out on the field a little bit longer.
This team came in here today, and teams that talk a lot of trash before the game sometimes don't wind up doing very well against Georgia Southern.
Well, they played well, but, maybe that was the edge that we needed was, the comments that the coaches made, and that was up on a bulletin board and gave us some motivation. As far as I know, that could have been the edge that helped us make the play. So we appreciate any time a coach can do that for us.
I sort of thought that we were going both ways today because we were out there a long time, and after that first defensive play when we ran the touchdown off the fumble, it seemed like forever to be out there.
Yeah, we spent a good portion of the time out there, but that wasn't our offense's fault, I don't think. Our defense, we'd get them third and long or 3rd and short, and it seemed like they'd just come up with a play somehow.